The Cosmic Code Numbers in the Quran, written by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This book delves into the fascinating intersection of science and religion, exploring how numerical patterns in the Quran might reveal deeper truths about the universe. Throughout history, humans have searched for patterns in the universe, from the ancient astronomers who mapped the stars to modern scientists analyzing data. The quest to find order in chaos has been a constant endeavor. We find comfort in order, meaning in the seemingly random. Patterns in nature, mathematical equations, and even in the texts we hold sacred all offer a sense of structure and purpose. This search extends to religious texts, where numbers often hold special significance. Scholars have long studied these texts, seeking to uncover hidden meanings and divine messages encoded within the numbers. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, is no exception. It is revered by Muslims around the world as the ultimate source of spiritual guidance and wisdom. Muslims believe it to be the word of God revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over 1,400 years ago. This revelation is considered perfect and unaltered, a direct communication from the divine. Within its verses lie intricate numerical patterns, believed by many to be evidence of its divine origin. These patterns are not random, but are seen as deliberate and meaningful, pointing to a higher intelligence. One number stands out: 9. This number appears repeatedly in various forms and contexts throughout the Quran, capturing the attention of scholars and believers alike. This seemingly simple digit appears in a variety of contexts throughout the Quran, often in ways that defy simple explanation. It is found in the number of verses, the structure of chapters, and even in the numerical values of certain words. Is this evidence of a grand design, a cosmic code woven into the very fabric of the Quran? Could it be that these numerical patterns are a sign of divine authorship, a message from the Creator embedded in the text? Or are these patterns merely the product of human imagination, seeking meaning where none exists? Some argue that our brains are wired to find patterns even in random data, leading us to see connections that aren't really there. Let's embark on a journey to explore the captivating presence of the number 9 in the Quran, examining the evidence, the interpretations, and the ongoing debate that surrounds it. We will delve into the historical context, the mathematical analyses, and the spiritual significance attributed to this number, seeking to understand why it holds such a prominent place in the Quranic text. The enigmatic 9 and number apart. The number 9 holds a unique position in mathematics. Multiply any number by 9 and the digits of the result will always add up to a multiple of 9. This property, known as casting out nines, has fascinated mathematicians for centuries, but the number 9's allure extends beyond the realm of mathematics. In many cultures, it is associated with concepts of completeness, perfection, and the divine. This makes its prominent presence in the Quran all the more intriguing. 9 in the structure of the Quran, a divine fingerprint. The Quran is divided into 114 chapters known as surahs. Interestingly, the word Muhammad appears in the Quran a total of 114 times. Coincidence, perhaps? But the significance of the number 9 deepens when we consider that the number of verses in the Quran, excluding the opening verse, is 6,234, a number also divisible by 9. This repetition of 9 within the Quran's very structure has led some scholars to view it as a deliberate sign, a divine fingerprint attesting to its authenticity. The word count wonders, unveiling hidden harmonies. The intricate numerical patterns in the Quran extend beyond its structure to the very words themselves. The word day, yawm in Arabic, appears in the Quran 365 times, the exact number of days in a year. Conversely, the word night, Layla, appears 114 times, corresponding to the 114 chapters of the Quran. These numerical echoes between the Quran's language and the natural world have led many believers to see them as powerful evidence of divine inspiration. How else could such precise correspondences exist, they argue, unless the Quran was truly the word of God? Section 5.9 and the attributes of Allah, reflections of the divine. In Islam, God is referred to as Allah, and Muslims believe that Allah possesses 99 names, each representing a different attribute of His divine nature. These names are not just mere titles, but are deeply significant, each one offering a unique insight into the essence of the divine. They are a means for believers to understand and connect with the infinite aspects of Allah's being. These names, such as the Most Merciful, the All-Knowing, and the Everlasting, are scattered throughout the Quran, offering glimpses into the nature of the divine. Each name serves as a reminder of Allah's omnipotence, mercy, and eternal presence. For instance, the Most Merciful emphasizes Allah's boundless compassion and forgiveness, while the All-Knowing highlights His infinite wisdom and understanding of all things. The Everlasting, on the other hand, signifies Allah's eternal existence, unbound by time and space. These attributes are not just abstract concepts, but are meant to be reflected upon and internalized by believers in their daily lives. They serve as a guide for how Muslims should strive to embody these divine qualities in their own actions and character. The fact that Allah has 99 names, a multiple of 9, is seen by some as further evidence of the number's significance. The number 9 holds a special place in Islamic numerology and is often associated with completeness and perfection. This connection between the number 9 and the divine attributes of Allah has led some scholars to view it as a reflection of His perfection and completeness. This connection between the number 9 and the divine attributes of Allah has led some scholars to view it as a reflection of His perfection and completeness. It is believed that by contemplating these names and their meanings, believers can gain a deeper understanding of the divine and strengthen their faith. The practice of reciting and meditating on these names is a common spiritual exercise in Islam aimed at fostering a closer relationship with Allah and cultivating a sense of inner peace and spiritual fulfillment. Section 6. The Skeptic's Lens, Coincidence or Contrivance. The intricate numerical patterns found in the Quran have led to a range of interpretations, from awe and wonder to skepticism and doubt. Critics often argue that these patterns are simply the result of chance or confirmation bias, where people tend to see patterns where none exist. They point out that with a text as long and complex as the Quran, it's statistically probable that certain numbers will appear more frequently than others. Furthermore, they argue that focusing on specific numbers while ignoring others that don't fit the pattern is a form of cherry-picking evidence. Section 7. Beyond numbers, seeking deeper meaning. While the debate over the significance of numerical patterns in the Quran continues, it's important to remember that numbers themselves are not the ultimate goal. For Muslims, the Quran is a guidebook for life, a source of spiritual guidance and moral instruction. Focusing solely on numerical patterns, some argue, can distract from the deeper meaning and wisdom contained within its verses. Instead of getting bogged down in mathematical debates, they believe the focus should be on understanding the Quran's message of compassion, justice, and submission to God. Section 8. The Power of Pattern, Inspiration and Awe. Despite the skepticism, the numerical patterns in the Quran continue to inspire awe and wonder in many believers. For them, these patterns serve as a reminder of God's power and wisdom, His ability to imbue even the seemingly mundane with profound meaning. Whether or not one accepts the divine origin of these patterns, there's no denying their impact on the human psyche. They remind us of our innate desire to find order in chaos, to seek meaning in the universe around us. Section 9. An invitation to explore the Quran's enduring mystery. The debate surrounding the number 9 in the Quran is ultimately a reflection of the larger mystery that surrounds faith and the nature of the divine. This number, often seen as a symbol of completeness and eternity, has intrigued scholars and believers alike for centuries. Whether viewed as evidence of divine authorship or simply a testament to the human capacity for pattern recognition, the numerical patterns within the Quran offer a fascinating glimpse into the intersection of faith, mathematics, and the human search for meaning. These patterns are not just random occurrences, but are seen by many as a deliberate design, a code embedded within the sacred text. The numerical patterns within the Quran offer a fascinating glimpse into the intersection of faith, mathematics, and the human search for meaning. The way numbers and sequences are woven into the text can be seen as a bridge between the spiritual and the rational, inviting us to explore deeper truths. Ultimately, the interpretation of these patterns is a personal one. Each reader may find different meanings and insights depending on their perspective and understanding. This personal journey of discovery is what makes the Quran a living document, continually relevant and inspiring. The Quran, with its intricate language and multifaceted layers of meaning, remains open to exploration and interpretation. Its verses are like a vast ocean with depths that can never be fully plumbed, offering new insights and wisdom with each reading. It invites us to engage with its verses, to ponder their significance, and to draw our own conclusions. This engagement is not just an intellectual exercise, but a spiritual journey, a quest for understanding that can lead to profound personal growth and enlightenment. The concept of the number 9 in the Quran is often discussed in relation to various numerological and mathematical patterns that some believe highlight its divine nature. Here's an overview based on available information. Numerological significance. The number 9 has been noted for its unique properties in mathematics, where any number multiplied by 9 and then summed until a single digit is reached will always return to 9. This property is sometimes paralleled with the perfection and unity in Islamic theology. For instance, it's suggested that the Quran's numerical composition reflects a miraculous balance, where the number 9 symbolizes completion or perfection. This is evident in discussions around the Quran's structure, where certain words or themes appear in patterns that resonate with this numerology. For example, the word salawat, prayers, is mentioned 5 times in the Quran, corresponding to the 5 daily prayers in Islam, and the word Sa, month, appears 12 times, matching the number of months in a year. Mathematical miracles. The Quran is said to exhibit mathematical miracles involving the number 9. One such example is the claim that the total number of verses and chapters in the Quran can be manipulated to show patterns or sums that are multiples of 9, suggesting a deliberate divine design. The notion of the Quran constant, QC, by Dr. Khaled Enes Faki explores how the Quran's text is secured through a mathematical constant where the number 333667 plays a pivotal role, and its digits sum up to 28, which is significant because it equals the number of Arabic alphabets. This number also relates to the total number of chapters in the Quran when digits are multiplied in a specific manner. Scientific and cosmic connections. Some interpretations extend the significance of 9 to scientific metaphors or cosmic phenomena. For instance, the balance of water and earth on our planet has been linked to the frequency of related words in the Quran, suggesting a divine knowledge of the Earth's composition. However, these interpretations are often debated, with critics arguing that finding such patterns might be a result of confirmation bias, or the natural propensity of humans to find patterns in any large text. Critique and skepticism. While there are proponents of these numerical miracles, skepticism exists. Critics argue that similar patterns can be found in other texts with enough scrutiny, suggesting that these patterns might not be unique to the Quran, but rather a human cognitive bias towards pattern recognition. There's also the argument that the methods of counting or interpreting these patterns can be subjective, leading to varied conclusions. In summary, the number 9 in the Quran is seen by some as part of a complex, divine mathematical structure that underscores the text's miraculous nature. However, the interpretation of these patterns is not universally accepted and remains a topic of theological debate, highlighting the need for careful analysis of both the claims and the methods used to substantiate them. The miraculous number 9 in the Quran. Divine patterns unveiled. Numerical significance of the number 9 in the Quran. The number 9 holds a special place in many numerological interpretations of the Quran, often considered to symbolize perfection, completion, and divine unity. Here's an exploration of how this number appears and why it might be significant. Mathematical properties of 9. In mathematics, 9 is unique because when multiplied by any number and then reduced to a single digit by summing its digits repeatedly, it always returns to 9. For example, 9 times 5 equals 45, 4 plus 5 equals 9, 9 times 7 equals 63, 6 plus 3 equals 9. This property is sometimes paralleled with the divine unity and the concept of Tawheed in Islam, where all multiplicity ultimately leads back to the oneness of God. Quranic ayat and mathematical patterns, the Quran's chapters, surahs. There are 114 chapters in the Quran. If we sum the digits of 114, 1 plus 1 plus 4, we get 6, which when multiplied by 9 gives 54, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. Surah Al-Kawthar, chapter 108. The chapter consists of 3 verses. When we look at the digit sum of these verses, we find patterns divisible by 9. Verse 1. Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar. The digit sum of this verse in both Arabic letter count and abjad value has been noted to align with multiples of 9 in various studies, though specific numbers vary with different interpretations of counting methods. Calculation example. If using a simplified abjad system where each letter has a value, Inwa Atainaka al-Kawthara, Inna Atainaka al-Kawthar, might be calculated for an abjad value where the total sums to a number divisible by 9, showcasing a pattern. Thematic patterns involving number 9 prayers, salawat. The word salawat, prayers, appears 5 times in the Quran, matching the 5 daily prayers in Islam. Here, 5 plus 4 equals 9, linking back to the number's significance. Months, Sa. The word Sa, month, appears 12 times, corresponding to the lunar calendar's 12 months. Here, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and adding 6 from 114 surahs gives 9. How and why these patterns exist. Divine design. Proponents argue these patterns could not have been humanly engineered, especially since the Quran was revealed orally to a largely illiterate society, suggesting divine authorship or at least divine guidance in its composition. Protection from alteration. The complex mathematical structure is seen by some as a security feature, ensuring the text's authenticity, as even slight alterations would disrupt the numerical harmony. Justification for these interpretations, Quranic text. The Quran itself challenges humans to produce something like it, and these numerical patterns are often cited as part of that challenge, showcasing a level of intricacy beyond human capability at the time of revelation. Verse 15, 9. Indeed, it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed, we will be its guardian. This verse is often cited as divine assurance that the Quran's text, including its numerological aspects, will remain unaltered. Implications of these findings: faith strengthening. For believers, these patterns can strengthen faith by providing an additional layer of perceived divine miracle. Skeptical views. Critics might argue that similar patterns can be found in any large text with enough scrutiny, suggesting these are coincidences or results of confirmation bias. They might also point out that methods of counting can be adjusted to fit desired outcomes. Intellectual exploration. It encourages deeper study into the Quran's text from both a spiritual and intellectual standpoint, prompting ongoing analysis from various academic fields. Cultural and theological discourse. The debate around these patterns enriches Islamic scholarship, encouraging discussions on the intersection of faith, science, and mathematics. In conclusion, the number 9's presence in the Quran through various interpretations and calculations is seen by some as a testament to the Quran's divine origin. However, these interpretations are not universally accepted, and they continue to be a subject of theological and scholarly debate. Further numerical examples and patterns. The word Allah. The term Allah appears 2,698 times in the Quran. When we sum the digits of this number, 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8, we get 25. 2 plus 5 equals 7, which when added to 2 from 2698 gives us 9. This is one of the many instances where believers see a divine signature in the text. Miracle of 19. While not directly related to 9, the number 19 is often discussed in Quranic numerology, where it's claimed that the initial letters of certain surahs, when counted, form patterns with 19 and by extension relate back to 9 through digit summing or other mathematical operations. Why these patterns might matter. Orthogonal to human thought. The complexity and specificity of these patterns are argued to be beyond the cognitive abilities of the time, suggesting a divine hand in the Quran's composition. Encouragement of reflection. The Quran encourages pondering over its signs, and these numerical patterns are viewed as one way to engage in that reflection, leading to a deeper understanding of the text's layers. Justification for the significance, verse 56, 77, 80. These verses speak about the Quran being a noble recitation in a well-guarded book, which some interpret to include the numerical safeguarding of the text. Historical context. The Quran was revealed in an environment where numerology was part of the culture, but the depth and consistency of these patterns are argued to exceed what was commonly known or practiced. Implications and broader impact. Interfaith dialogue. While primarily an intrafaith discussion, these patterns can spark interfaith conversations about the nature of scripture and divine authorship across religions. Education and scholarship. This numerology has led to new academic fields within Islamic studies, where scholars debate, document, and sometimes refute these claims, contributing to the broader knowledge about the Quran. Personal faith. For individual believers, these patterns can serve as personal proofs of faith, enhancing their spiritual connection to the text. Scientific and mathematical engagement. This has spurred interest among Muslim scientists and mathematicians to explore the Quran from their disciplinary perspectives, potentially bridging faith and science. Debate and dissent. Not all Muslims agree on the significance or interpretation of these numbers. Some view them as interesting but not necessarily miraculous, while others caution against focusing too much on numbers at the expense of the Quran's moral and ethical teachings. Conclusion. The number 9, among other numbers in the Quran, serves as a focal point for discussions on divine signs, numerology, and the miraculous nature of the text. While these patterns offer a fascinating layer to explore, they also remind us of the broader teachings of the Quran, which emphasize reflection, understanding, and the pursuit of knowledge. The ongoing debate around these numerical miracles underscores the dynamic and evolving nature of Islamic scholarship. Here are more detailed examples of how the number 9 is said to manifest in the Quranic text, focusing on specific verses, words, or themes. 1. The word Ahad. 1. Surah Al-Ikhlas 112, verse analysis. Surah Al-Ikhlas is often cited for its monotheistic emphasis. The word Ahad, 1, appears in this chapter, underscoring the oneness of God. Some numerologists point out the surah has 4 verses. If we count the letters in Ahad, we get 3. When we sum the number of verses, 4, and the number of letters in Ahad, 3, we get 7, and 7 plus 2, from 112, the surah number, equals 9. 1. The numerical balance in Surah Al-Fatiha, 1. Verse count. Al-Fatiha has 7 verses. Letter count. When counting the letters of Al-Fatiha, some methods of counting lead to a total where the digits sum to multiples of 9. If you count each letter's abjad value, a traditional numerical system for Arabic letters, the total might sum to a number where the digits add up to 9 or a multiple thereof, although exact numbers vary with different counting methods. 1. The number of times certain words appear. Day, Yawm. The word Yawm appears 365 times in the Quran, matching the number of days in a year. Here, 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 14, and 1 plus 4 equals 5, then 5 plus 4 from 365 equals sign 9. Sea, bar, and land, Yaba, the word bar, sea, appears 32 times, and Yaba, land, appears 13 times. The ratio reflects the approximate percentage of earth covered by water versus land, where 32 plus 13 equals 45 and 4 plus 5 equals 9. 1. The number of words in certain verses, verse 74, 30. Over it are 19. This verse is pivotal in the discussion of the number 19, which some scholars link back to 9 through digit summing or other mathematical operations. If you count the words or letters in this verse or perform an abjad calculation, some methods lead to numbers where the final digit sum is 9. 1. Mathematical patterns in the entire Quran, total number of verses. There are 6,236 verses in the Quran. Summing the digits, 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6, gives 17, and 1 plus 7 equals 8. If we add this to the number of surahs, 114, we get 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4 equals 14, then 1 plus 4 equals 5. Now, if we add this to the number of ruku, sections, in the Quran, which is 558, the sum, 5 plus 5 plus 8, is 18, and 1 plus 8 equals 9. Why these patterns are considered significant? Divine signature. Such patterns are seen as a sign of divine authorship, where the sophistication of the mathematical structure points to a knowledge beyond human capability at the time of the Quran's revelation. Preservation and authenticity. The patterns are thought to act as a safeguard against textual corruption, as altering even one letter could disrupt these numerical harmonies. Call to reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these numerical patterns are one avenue for such reflection, encouraging believers to delve deeper into their scripture. Caveats and critical views. Interpretation. Variability. Different scholars might count differently or interpret the significance of these numbers in varied ways, which can lead to debates about the validity or relevance of these findings. Confirmation bias. Critics argue that with enough analysis, similar patterns could be found in any large text, suggesting that these findings might be more a product of looking for patterns than actual divine design. These examples illustrate how some believers interpret the Quran's numerical composition as part of its miraculous nature, though this remains a subject of debate, fascination, and intellectual exploration within the Islamic community. Here are additional examples where the number 9 is thought to play a significant role in the Quranic text. 1. The word Quran in the Quran. Frequency. The word Quran appears 70 times in the Quran. When summing the digits of 70, 7 plus 0, we get 7, and adding this to the number of times Allah appears, 2,698, where 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 equals 25, and 2 plus 5 equals 7, we see a pattern where the sum of both numbers, 7 plus 7 equals 14, then 1 plus 4 equals 5, and if we add 4 from 70, we reach 9. 1. The structure of Bismillah letter count. Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, which begins all but one surah, has 19 letters. Using Abjad numerology, summing the Abjad values of each letter in Bismillah gives different totals based on the method, but some approaches yield a number where the digits sum to 9. 1. The concept of night and day. Night, Layl, and day, Nahar. Layl appears 92 times and Nahar appears 69 times. Here, 9 plus 2 equals 11 and 6 plus 9 equals 15, then 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 5 equals 8. And if we add 1 from the count of each word, we get 9. 1. The number of times man, insan, appears. Frequency. The word insane or its derivatives appear 65 times. Summing the digits, 6 plus 5 gives 11, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. Adding this to the number of chapters, 114, where 1 plus 1 plus 4 equals 6, we get 2 plus 6 equals 8. Then adding the 5 from 65, we arrive at 9. 1. The balance of life and death. Life, Hayat, and death, Mort. Hayat appears 145 times, and Mort appears 145 times. This balance is often cited for its symbolic significance. Here, 1 plus 4 plus 5 equals 10, then 1 plus 0 equals 1. But when considering the frequency, the symmetry and repetition could be seen to relate back to 9 through additional operations like summing digits with the number of occurrences 1. The mathematical structure of Surah Al-Mulk, 67, verse count. Al-Mulk has 30 verses. When we sum the number of verses, 30, where 3 plus 0 equals 3, with the surah number, 67, where 6 plus 7 equals 13, then 1 plus 3 equals 4, we get 3 plus 4 equals 7, then adding 2 from 67 gives 9. Additional patterns and why they matter. Divine precision. These patterns are seen as part of the Quran's intricate design, showcasing precision that some argue could only come from a divine source. Encouragement of knowledge. The Quran repeatedly calls for reflection and acquisition of knowledge. These numerical patterns are one aspect where believers see this encouragement manifested. Proof against alteration. Like a checksum in modern computing, these patterns could be viewed as a safeguard against textual changes, ensuring the Quran's authenticity over time. Critical perspectives, interpretation bias. There's a risk of cherry-picking data to fit a narrative. Critics argue that with enough manipulation, patterns can be found in any text. Methodological disputes. Different methods of counting, for example, whether to include or exclude certain letters or diacritical marks, can lead to different results, questioning the reliability of these patterns. These examples further demonstrate the fascination with numerological interpretations of the Quran, where the number 9 is seen not just as a mathematical curiosity, but as a testament to the Quran's divine origin. However, this remains a topic of theological debate, with interpretations varying widely among scholars and believers. Here are more concise examples of the number 9's significance in the Quran. Surah Al-Ikhlas, 112. 4 verses. Ahad. Ahad has 3 letters. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Then 7 plus 2 from 112 equals sign 9. Al-Fatiha 1, 7 verses. Some abjad value sums lead to multiples of 9. Word Quran appears 70 times. 7 plus 0 equals 7. Then 7 plus 7 from Allah appearing 2,698 times. Equal sign 14, then 1 plus 4 equals 5, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. Bismillah, 19 letters. Certain abjad calculations sum to a number where the digits equal 9. Day, Yom, appears 365 times. 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 14. Then 1 plus 4 equals 5, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. Sea, Bar, verses. Land, Yaba, 32 and 13 times respectively. 32 plus 13 equals 45, then 4 plus 5 equals 9. Life, Hayat, and death, Mot, both appear 145 times. Symmetry and repetition linked to 9. Total verses, 6,236. 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals 17, then 1 plus 7 equals 8, and 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4 from 114 surahs. Equal sign 14, then 1 plus 4 equals 5, and 5 plus 4 equals 9. These examples illustrate how some interpret the Quran's text through the lens of numerology, where 9 symbolizes divine precision and unity. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a fascinating interplay between mathematics, theology, and interpretation. This analysis delves into the significance of the number 9, its mathematical properties, and the implications of these findings within Islamic scholarship. Numerical significance of 9. Symbolism and mathematical properties. The number 9 is often viewed as a symbol of perfection, completion, and divine unity in Islamic thought. In mathematics, any number multiplied by 9 yields a result that, when summed repeatedly, returns to 9. For example, 9 3 2 7 and 96 3 27, and 2 plus 7 equals sign 92 plus 7 equals sign 9. This property is sometimes linked to the concept of Tawheed, the oneness of God. Quranic structure. The Quran consists of 114 chapters, surahs. Summing the digits of this total, 1 plus 1 plus 4, results in 6. Multiplying by 9 gives 54, and summing those digits, 5 plus 4 returns to 9. Surah Al-Kawthar, chapter 108, contains 3 verses. The word Inwa Atainaka al-Kawthara, Inna Atainaka al-Kawthar, has an abjad value that is divisible by 9. Examples of numerical patterns. Surah Al-Ikhlas, 112, contains 4 verses. The word Ahad has 3 letters. Calculation 4 plus 3 equals sign 74 plus 3 equals sign 7. Adding 22 from the surah. Number 112112 gives 7 plus 2 equals sign 97 plus 2 equals sign 9. Surah Al-Fatiha, 1, has 7 verses. Certain methods indicate totals where digits sum to multiples of 9. The word Allah appears 2,698 times in the Quran. Summing these digits yields 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 equal sign 252 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 equal sign 25, which further reduces to 2 plus 5. Equal sign 72 plus 5 equals sign 7. Adding this to the count of Quran appearances gives a total that can be manipulated to yield patterns related to 9. Day and night, the word Yom appears 365 times, leading to calculations that eventually link back to multiples or sums involving the number 9. Implications and interpretations. Why these patterns matter. Divine design. Proponents argue that such intricate patterns indicate a divine authorship beyond human capability. Textual integrity. These numerical structures are believed to act as safeguards against textual corruption. Even minor alterations could disrupt these balances. Encouragement for reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these patterns serve as tools for deeper engagement with its text. Critical perspectives. While many view these numerical patterns as signs of divine origin, critics argue confirmation bias. Similar patterns can be identified in various large texts, suggesting that findings may stem from subjective interpretations rather than objective truths. Methodological disputes. Different counting methods can yield varying results, raising questions about reliability. Conclusion. The significance of the number 9 in the Quran encapsulates a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue and theological reflection. While some scholars appreciate these patterns as evidence of divine authorship and textual preservation, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in data selection and analysis. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship and invites believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual and intellectual lenses. Continuing the exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran, we delve deeper into its numerical patterns, implications, and the ongoing debates surrounding these interpretations. Further examples of the number 9 in the Quran's significant surahs and words: Surah Al-Ikhlas 112. This surah consists of 4 verses. The word ahad, meaning one, has 3 letters. Adding these gives 4 plus 3 equals 74 plus 3 equals 7. Incorporating the surah number, where 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 41 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4, we find 7 plus 2 equals 97 plus 2 equals 91. Surah Al-Fatiha 1, comprising 7 verses. Some methods of counting letters yield totals where digits sum to multiples of 9. For instance, if we consider letter values, they can align with this numerical significance 1, the word Quran. Appearing 70 times in the Quran, summing the digits gives 7 plus 0 equals 77 plus 0 equals 7. When added to the sum for Allah, 2,698 occurrences, where 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 equals 252 plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 equals 25, and 2 plus 5 equals 72 plus 5 equals 7, we find 7 plus 7 equals 147 plus 7 equals 14, which reduces to 1 plus 4 equals 51 plus 4 equals 5, and then adding 44 from Quran results in 5 plus 4 equals 95 plus 4 equals 91. Bismillah. The phrase Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim contains 19 letters. Certain calculations of the abjad values can lead to sums that equal 9, depending on the method used. 1. The word yawm, day. This word appears 365 times. Summing the digits gives 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 143 plus 6 plus 5 equals 14, which simplifies to 1 plus 4 equals 51 plus 4 equals 5. Adding this to 44 from its total occurrences results in 5 plus 4 equals 95 plus 4 equals 91. Thematic connections: sea, bar, and land, yaba. The word bar appears 32 times, while yaba appears 13 times. Adding these counts results in 32 plus 13 equals 4,532 plus 13 equals 45. And summing the digits gives 4 plus 5 equals 94 plus 5 equals 91. Life, hayat, and death, mort. Both terms appear 145 times each. Their symmetry is often linked to the number 9 through various operations and interpretations. 1. Total verses calculation. The Quran contains 6,236 verses. Summing the digits gives 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals 176 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals 17, which further reduces to 1 plus 7 equals 81 plus 7 equals 8. Adding this to the surah's digit sum, 114, 1 on 6, 1 and 4, and 1 plus 1, 4 over 6, results in 8 plus 6 equal 148 plus 6 equals 14, which reduces to 55. Including the ruku count, 558, 5 plus 5 for 8 till 18, 1 plus 8, 9, 5, 8 to 5, 5, 8, 1 and 1 plus 8, 9, leads back to 9-1. Significance of these patterns: divine design. Many scholars interpret these numerical patterns as evidence of divine authorship. The complexity and specificity suggest a level of knowledge that exceeds human capability at the time of Revelation 1, preservation and authenticity. These patterns are believed to act as safeguards against textual corruption. Even minor changes could disrupt these intricate numerical balances, akin to a checksum in modern computing. 1. Encouragement of reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these numerical patterns serve as tools for deeper engagement with its text. They encourage believers to reflect on the signs within Scripture, fostering a richer understanding of its messages. 1. Critical perspectives, interpretation variability. Different scholars may interpret or count these numbers differently, leading to debates about their validity. This variability underscores the subjective nature of numerological interpretations within Islamic scholarship. 1. Confirmation bias critics argue that similar patterns can be identified in any extensive text if one seeks them out diligently. This raises questions about whether these findings genuinely indicate divine design or result from selective interpretation. 1. Methodological disputes. The methods used for counting and interpreting these numbers can vary significantly, potentially leading to different conclusions. This subjectivity can challenge the reliability of claimed patterns and their significance. 1. Conclusion. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue intertwined with theological reflection. While many view these patterns as signs of divine origin and textual preservation, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in data selection and analysis. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual and intellectual lenses. Continuing the exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran, we can further analyze its implications, examples, and the ongoing discourse surrounding its interpretations. Additional examples of the number 9 in the Quran: Surah and word frequency. Surah Al-Kawthar 108. This surah has 3 verses. The verse Inwa Atainaka al-Kawthara, Inna Atainaka al-Kawthar, has an abjad value that can be calculated to show divisibility by 9. This highlights how specific verses can align with numerical patterns that some interpret as divine. The word salawat, appearing 5 times in the Quran, it correlates with the 5 daily prayers in Islam. Adding these gives 5 plus 4 equal, sign 95 plus 4, equal sign 9, reinforcing the connection between prayer and this significant number. The word yawm, day. This word appears 365 times in the Quran. Summing the digits, 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals sign 143 plus 6 plus 5 equals sign 14. Then reducing this yields 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5. Adding 44 from the total count gives 5 plus 4 equals sign 95 plus 4 equals sign 9, illustrating how daily life concepts are intertwined with numerological significance. Thematic connections: sea, bar, and land, yaba. The word bar appears 32 times, while yaba appears 13 times. Summing these counts gives 32 plus 13 equal sign 4,532 plus 13 equals sign 45. And further summing the digits yields 4 plus 5 equals sign 94 plus 5 equals sign 9. This ratio is also interpreted as reflective of Earth's water-to-land distribution. Life, hayat, and death, mort. Both terms appear 145 times each, leading to symmetrical interpretations linked to the number 9, emphasizing themes of existence and mortality. Total verses calculation. The Quran comprises 6,236 verses. Summing these digits gives 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equal sign 176 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals sign 17, which reduces to 1 plus 7 equals sign 81 plus 7 equals sign 8. Adding this to the digit sum of surahs, 114, 1 plus 5, 104, 1 plus 4, 6, results in 8 plus 6 equals sign 148 plus 6 equals sign 14, which reduces to 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5, including ruku counts 558, 5558, 108, 558, 555, 118, which reduces to 1 plus 8 equals sign 91 plus 8 equals sign 9, brings us back to 9, showcasing a cohesive numerical structure throughout the text. Significance of these patterns: divine design. Many scholars interpret these patterns as evidence of divine authorship, suggesting that such intricate numerical relationships are beyond human capability at the time of revelation. This complexity is seen as a hallmark of divine knowledge. Textual integrity. The patterns are believed to act as safeguards against textual corruption. Even slight alterations could disrupt these delicate numerical balances. This concept mirrors modern checksum methods used in data integrity verification, encouragement for reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these numerical patterns encourage believers to engage deeply with its text. They serve as tools for reflection, prompting deeper understanding and connection with spiritual teachings. Mathematical properties. The number 9 possesses unique mathematical properties. When multiplied by any integer and reduced by summing its digits repeatedly, it always returns to 9. This property is often linked to Tawheed, or the oneness of God, reinforcing themes of unity within Islamic belief. Critical perspectives, interpretation, variability. Different scholars may interpret or count these numbers differently, leading to debates about their validity. The subjective nature of numerological analysis can result in varied conclusions based on individual methodologies. Confirmation bias critics argue that similar patterns can be identified in any extensive text if one seeks them out diligently, suggesting that findings may stem from subjective interpretations rather than objective truths. Methodological disputes. The methods used for counting and interpreting these numbers can vary significantly, potentially leading to different conclusions. This subjectivity challenges the reliability of claimed patterns and their significance. Conclusion. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue intertwined with theological reflection. While many view these patterns as signs of divine origin and textual preservation, others caution against over-interpretation due to potential biases in data selection and analysis. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual and intellectual lenses. The debate surrounding these interpretations underscores a broader engagement with numerology within religious texts, fostering an environment for continued exploration and discussion among scholars and practitioners alike. Continuing the exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran, we can delve deeper into its implications, further examples, and the broader context of numerology in Islamic scholarship. Further exploration of the number 9 symbolic and spiritual interpretations. The number 9 holds various symbolic meanings within Islamic tradition and broader spiritual contexts. Some interpretations include completion and fulfillment. In many cultures, including Islamic thought, the number 9 is often associated with completion. This can be seen in the idea that after 9 comes a new cycle representing rebirth or renewal. In the Quran, themes of resurrection and life after death resonate with this symbolism. Divine attributes. The number 9 can also be linked to the 99 names of Allah, Asma'ul Husna. While not directly related to 9, the connection between these names and divine attributes emphasizes the completeness of God's nature. Some scholars draw parallels between these names and numerical patterns found in the Quran. Examples from Hadith and other texts. The significance of numbers extends beyond the Quran into Hadith literature and other Islamic texts. For instance, Hadith on prayer, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of prayer, salah, which is performed 5 times daily. When considering additional acts of worship or rituals associated with prayer, such as ablution, wudu, one can find connections to numerical patterns that resonate with themes of purification and devotion. The night of ascension, Isra and Miraj. The journey of Isra and Miraj is often associated with significant numbers, including 5 daily prayers established during this event. The number 9 can be seen as a reminder of the spiritual journey and the importance of maintaining a connection with God through prayer. Cultural contexts. In various cultures within the Islamic world, numbers often carry specific meanings. Numerology in Islamic culture. Beyond religious texts, numerology has played a role in cultural practices. In some regions, certain numbers are considered lucky or unlucky based on historical or religious contexts. The number, the 9th of May, be viewed positively due to its associations with completion and divine order. Art and architecture. Islamic art often incorporates geometric patterns that reflect mathematical principles. The use of numbers like 9 in design can symbolize harmony and balance, echoing themes found in scripture. Broader implications. Interfaith perspectives. The fascination with numbers is not unique to Islam. Many religious traditions explore numerology. Christianity. The number 7 is often considered sacred, representing perfection or completion, for example, creation in 7 days. Comparatively, some scholars explore how different religious traditions interpret numerical significance similarly or differently. Judaism. The number 18 is significant in Jewish culture as it represents chai, meaning life. This highlights how different faiths attribute meaning to numbers based on their theological frameworks. Modern interpretations. With advancements in technology and data analysis, modern scholars are applying new methodologies to explore these numerical patterns. Computational analysis. Some researchers use algorithms to analyze text for hidden patterns, potentially uncovering new insights into numerical significance within religious texts. Interdisciplinary studies, the intersection of mathematics, theology, and cultural studies, encourages a holistic approach to understanding how numbers function within religious narratives. Conclusion. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a complex interplay between mathematics, spirituality, and cultural interpretation. While many view these patterns as signs of divine authorship and textual integrity, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in methodology. This ongoing discourse enriches Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual reflection and intellectual inquiry. As scholars continue to investigate these numerical relationships within sacred texts, they contribute to a broader understanding of how numbers can serve as symbols of divine order, completeness, and interconnectedness within religious belief systems. The significance attributed to numbers like 9 serves as a reminder that faith can be explored through multiple lenses: spirituality, culture, mathematics, and that each perspective adds depth to our understanding of sacred teachings. This multifaceted approach encourages continued exploration and discussion among scholars and practitioners alike, fostering an environment where faith meets inquiry in meaningful ways. The exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran has revealed a complex interplay of mathematical patterns, theological implications, and ongoing scholarly debate. The following summarizes the key points regarding the number 9, its interpretations, and the broader context within Islamic scholarship. Summary of key points: numerical significance, symbolism. The number 9 is often viewed as a symbol of perfection, completion, and divine unity in Islamic thought. Its unique mathematical properties, where multiplying by 9 and summing the digits repeatedly returns to 9, are linked to the concept of Tawheed, or the oneness of God. Quranic structure. The Quran consists of 114 chapters, surahs. Summing the digits of this total yields 6, and multiplying by 9 gives 54, which further reduces to 9. Examples of patterns. Surah Al-Kawthar, 108, contains 3 verses. Calculations show alignment with multiples of 9 through abjad values. Surah Al-Ikhlas, 112. The word Ahad has 3 letters. Adding verse counts leads to a total of 9. Total verses. The Quran has 6,236 verses. Summing digits through various calculations consistently leads back to the number 9. Thematic connections, patterns involving words such as Allah, Yom, day, and reference to life and death reveal recurring themes that resonate with the significance of the number 9, emphasizing divine order and balance. Implications: divine design. Many scholars argue that these intricate numerical patterns suggest divine authorship, indicating knowledge beyond human capability. Textual integrity. The patterns are believed to protect against textual corruption. Even minor changes could disrupt these numerical structures. Encouragement for reflection. These patterns prompt deeper contemplation of the Quran's messages, inviting believers to engage more profoundly with their faith. Critical perspectives, interpretation. Variability. Different scholars may interpret or count these numbers differently, leading to debates about their validity. Confirmation bias. Critics argue that similar patterns can be identified in any extensive text, raising questions about whether these findings genuinely indicate divine design or result from selective interpretation. Methodological disputes. Variability in counting methods can lead to differing results, challenging the reliability of claimed patterns. Conclusion. The significance attributed to the number 9 in the Quran encapsulates a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue intertwined with theological reflection. While many view these patterns as evidence of divine origin and textual preservation, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in methodology. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual and intellectual lenses. The exploration of numerology within religious texts fosters an environment for continued inquiry and discussion among scholars and practitioners alike, bridging faith with analytical thought. Continuing the exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran, we can further analyze its implications, examples, and the broader context of numerology in Islamic scholarship. Further examples of the number 9 in the Quran Surah and word frequencies: Surah Al-Kawthar 108. This surah has 3 verses. The verse Inwa Atainaka al-Kawthara, Inna Atainaka al-Kawthar, has an abjad value that can be calculated to show divisibility by 9. This highlights how specific verses can align with numerical patterns that some interpret as divine. The word salawat, appearing 5 times in the Quran, it correlates with the 5 daily prayers in Islam. Adding these gives 5 plus 4 equals sign 95 plus 4 equals sign 9, reinforcing the connection between prayer and this significant number. The word yawm, day. This word appears 365 times in the Quran. Summing the digits gives 3 plus 6 plus 5 equal sign 143 plus 6 plus 5 equals sign 14, which reduces to 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5. Adding this to 44 from its total occurrences results in 5 plus 4 equals sign 95 plus 4 equals sign 9, illustrating how daily life concepts are intertwined with numerological significance. Thematic connections: Sibar and land Yaba. The word bar appears 32 times, while Yaba appears 13 times. Summing these counts gives 32 plus 13 equals sign 4,532 plus 13 equals sign 45. And further summing the digits yields 4 plus 5 equals sign 94 plus 5 equals sign 9. This ratio is also interpreted as reflective of Earth's water to land distribution. Life, Hayat, and death, Maut. Both terms appear 145 times each, leading to symmetrical interpretations linked to the number 9, emphasizing themes of existence and mortality. Total verses calculation. The Quran contains 6,236 verses. Summing these digits gives 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals sign 176 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals sign 17, which reduces to 1 plus 7 equals sign 81 plus 7 equals sign 8. Adding this to the digit sum of surahs, 114, 1 plus 4 6, 1 4, 1 plus 4 6, results in 8 plus 6 equals sign 148 plus 6 equals sign 14, which reduces to 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5, including ruku counts, 5 and 58, 5 plus 5 plus 8, 8, 5, 8, 5 is 5 plus 8 plus 8, which reduces to 1 plus 8 equals sign 91 plus 8 equals sign 9, brings us back to 9, showcasing a cohesive numerical structure throughout the text. Significance of these patterns. Divine design. Many scholars interpret these patterns as evidence of divine authorship. The complexity and specificity suggest a level of knowledge that exceeds human capability at the time of revelation. This complexity is seen as a hallmark of divine knowledge. Textual integrity. The patterns are believed to act as safeguards against textual corruption. Even slight alterations could disrupt these delicate numerical balances. This concept mirrors modern checks and methods used in data integrity verification. Encouragement for reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these numerical patterns encourage believers to engage deeply with its text. They serve as tools for reflection, prompting deeper understanding and connection with spiritual teachings. Mathematical properties. The number 9 possesses unique mathematical properties. When multiplied by any integer and reduced by summing its digits repeatedly, it always returns to 9. This property is often linked to Tawheed, or the oneness of God, reinforcing themes of unity within Islamic belief. Critical perspectives, interpretation variability. Different scholars may interpret or count these numbers differently, leading to debates about their validity. This variability underscores the subjective nature of numerological interpretations within Islamic scholarship. Confirmation bias. Critics argue that similar patterns can be identified in any extensive text if one seeks them out diligently. This raises questions about whether these findings genuinely indicate divine design or result from selective interpretation. Methodological disputes. The methods used for counting and interpreting these numbers can vary significantly, potentially leading to different conclusions. This subjectivity can challenge the reliability of claimed patterns and their significance. Conclusion. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue intertwined with theological reflection. While many view these patterns as signs of divine origin and textual preservation, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in data selection and analysis. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual reflection and intellectual inquiry. As scholars continue to investigate these numerical relationships within sacred texts, they contribute to a broader understanding of how numbers can serve as symbols of divine order, completeness, and interconnectedness within religious belief systems. The significance attributed to numbers like 9 serves as a reminder that faith can be explored through multiple lenses: spirituality, culture, mathematics, and that each perspective adds depth to our understanding of sacred teachings. This multifaceted approach encourages continued exploration and discussion among scholars and practitioners alike, fostering an environment where faith meets inquiry in meaningful ways. The exploration of the significance of the number 9 in the Quran continues to reveal intricate patterns and theological implications that invite both admiration and skepticism. This ongoing discourse highlights the complex relationship between numerology, spirituality, and interpretation within Islamic scholarship. Additional examples of the number 9 in the Quran: key surahs and their numerical patterns. Surah Al-Kawthar, 108. This surah has 3 verses. The verse Inwa Atainaka al-Kawthara, Inna Atainaka al-Kawthar, has an abjad value that aligns with multiples of 9. This connection emphasizes how specific verses can reflect numerical significance. Surah Al-Ikhlas, 112. This surah contains 4 verses, and the word ahad, meaning 1, consists of 3 letters. Adding these gives 4 plus 3 equals sign 74 plus 3 equals sign 7. Including the surah number 112112, where 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals sign 41 plus 1 plus 2 equals sign 4, leads to 7 plus 2 equals sign 97 plus 2 equals sign 9. Surah Al-Fatiha, 1. With 7 verses, some methods of counting letters lead to totals where the digits sum to multiples of 9, although specific numbers may vary based on counting methods. The word Yawm, day. The word Yawm appears 365 times in the Quran. Summing the digits gives 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals sign 143 plus 6 plus 5 equals sign 14, which reduces to 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5. Adding this to 44 from its total occurrences results in 5 plus 4 equals sign 95 plus 4 equals sign 9. Thematic connections: see bar and land yaba. The word bar appears 32 times while yaba appears 13 times. Summing these counts gives 32 plus 13 equals sign 4,532 plus 13 equals sign 45. And further summing the digits yields 4 plus 5 equals sign 94 plus 5 equals sign 9. This ratio reflects Earth's water-to-land distribution, linking numerical patterns to natural phenomena: life, hayat, and death, mort. Both terms appear 145 times each, with their symmetry often linked to the number 9 through additional calculations, emphasizing themes of existence and mortality. Total verses calculation: the Quran consists of 6,236 verses. Summing these digits gives 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals sign 176 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 equals sign 17, which reduces to 1 plus 7 equals sign 81 plus 7 equals sign 8. Adding this to the digit sum of surahs, 114, 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 6, 1, 4, and 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 6, results in 8 plus 6 equals sign 148 plus 6 equals sign 14, which further reduces to 1 plus 4 equals sign 51 plus 4 equals sign 5, including ruku counts 558, 5 plus 5 plus 8, 85, 5, 8, 5 plus 5 plus 8 to 18, reducing to 1 plus 8 equals sign 91 plus 8 equals sign 9, brings us back to 9, showcasing a cohesive numerical structure throughout the text. Significance of these patterns. Divine design. Many scholars interpret these patterns as evidence of divine authorship, suggesting that such intricate numerical relationships indicate knowledge beyond human capability. This complexity is viewed as a hallmark of divine wisdom. Textual integrity. These patterns are believed to act as safeguards against textual corruption. Even slight alterations could disrupt these delicate numerical balances. This concept is akin to modern checksum methods used in data integrity verification. Encouragement for reflection. The Quran invites contemplation, and these numerical patterns serve as tools for deeper engagement with its text. They encourage believers to reflect on the signs within Scripture, fostering a richer understanding of its messages. Mathematical properties. The number 9 possesses unique mathematical properties. When multiplied by any integer and reduced by summing its digits repeatedly, it always returns to 9. This property is often linked to Tawheed, or the oneness of God, reinforcing themes of unity within Islamic belief. Critical perspectives, interpretation, variability. Different scholars may interpret or count these numbers differently, leading to debates about their validity. This variability underscores the subjective nature of numerological interpretations within Islamic scholarship. Confirmation bias. Critics argue that similar patterns can be identified in any extensive text if one seeks them out diligently. This raises questions about whether these findings genuinely indicate divine design or result from selective interpretation. Methodological disputes. The methods used for counting and interpreting these numbers can vary significantly, potentially leading to different conclusions. This subjectivity can challenge the reliability of claimed patterns and their significance. Conclusion. The exploration of the number 9 in the Quran reveals a rich tapestry of mathematical intrigue intertwined with theological reflection. While many view these patterns as signs of divine origin and textual preservation, others caution against overinterpretation due to potential biases in data selection and analysis. This ongoing discourse continues to enrich Islamic scholarship, inviting believers to engage deeply with their faith through both spiritual reflection and intellectual inquiry. As scholars continue to investigate these numerical relationships within sacred texts, they contribute to a broader understanding of how numbers can serve as symbols of divine order, completeness, and interconnectedness within religious belief systems. Ultimately, the significance attributed to numbers like 9 serves as a reminder that faith can be explored through multiple lenses: spirituality, culture, mathematics, and that each perspective adds depth to our understanding of sacred teachings. This multifaceted approach encourages continued exploration and discussion among scholars and practitioners alike, fostering an environment where faith meets inquiry in meaningful ways.